Hi, Leo. This is Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and today I'm here to talk about the nodes being squared by Uranus, and that is making a perfect square. This is an event on June 12th, 2026, right? And so we're going to look at the chart in just a moment, but this is going to be for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And why is it an event, really? Because the North Node is our soul's mission, and the South Node is where we need to move away from. So the nodes are points in the sky, and they are on an axis, kind of like opposite signs in on the wheel. And so the nodes are going to be changing in July as well, but the square will stay there. And the square is asking us or pushing us really to make some type of an adjustment in our lives so we can really reach the North Node, so we can move into what our soul really wants for us, right? Now, the South Node is it can be associated with lack. It's about the past, the wounds. It can be also associated with what is just familiar, right? What is so known, even our talents, excuse me, our talents. But we need to move towards something new. It doesn't mean if you're a musician, you're not going to be a musician anymore. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but it means move away from things that are limiting us because they're so known, they're so familiar, right? Excuse me. And that's what is the square to the nodal axis is wanting us to do. So let's go look at the chart right now. And where is the chart? It is, let me go over to the chart here. And here it is. So I hope you can see me. I feel like you probably can. It says I'm screen sharing. There we go. So I have you here at the ascendant. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And here you are, Leo. And so um, we have the nodes. Let's look at Uranus first, right? Because that's where the square is like starting or emanating, right? And we have Uranus squaring the south node and the north node here. Now, the North Node is also associated with not only our soul's mission, but fate and destiny, where we are trying to go, our higher purpose, and things like that. All right. So here we have Uranus squaring your second house of values, material gain, and possessions. This is your house of well-being and self-worth as well. So we have that South Node there. So, it's asking you to kind of move away from old values that don't serve you anymore, right? And you could be, this can also be associated with perfection because it's in Virgo, right? Yeah. And look quickly at what did I write down here, right? I'm trying to look at my notes a little bit here, but that's okay. We're gonna kind of go off the fly here because yeah, I just don't want to kind of do that right now. But here we have the South Node in that second house. This could be your attitude toward money. It could be how you value certain things, your beliefs, because your values are your beliefs, right? What you kind of believe in, what's important. So you're being asked to move away from that. Now, Mercury is the ruler of Uranus, and Mercury rules information and our thinking, and Mercury is ruling your second house. So you're changing your perspective and the way you think about these second house themes that I was talking about. All right. Now, we also have the square and Mercury. Let's look for Mercury. It's in your 12th house of endings. Here's Mercury, the little student, because it represents he's wearing a hat, right? He's not like Venus. Venus is just being herself, right? He actually put the hat on because he's going to school. I mean, archetypically, sort of, right? It is about learning, Mercury, and information, but he's in your 12th house of release and endings. So, you're being asked to release, like, it looks like the way you think about things, or the way you think about these second house themes, right? It can also have to do with these eighth house themes as well, because you're trying to go there. So there could be something that is linked here, right? The South and the North Node are always linked. They are, because we're trying to move away from this South Node over here to the North Node. Now, yeah, Mercury is also in this 12th house. And we also see here that Jupiter is ruling the North Node because it's in Pisces. Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius. So the North Node being ruled by Jupiter's in your 12th house of endings. This is saying let something go. Let something go so you can grow, so you can grow and expand. And, we also have uh, Jupiter ruling your fifth house of self-expression, self-identity, how you create things, your creative self-expression, and children, because they are, considered, procreation, of course. And this is your house of fun and love and sex. It also has to do with like recreational activities, hobbies, and talents. This is where you shine, right? The fifth house, because you rule the heart. So here we have Jupiter in that 12th house and ruling this fifth. There's something about your self-expression, something maybe you want to create for yourself, or just your own self-expression, as I was saying, that is going to change. It can be about how you approach romance. It sure can. That fifth house is love and sex. Um, but you just might want to be more authentic as well, because the fifth house is not only where you shine, but we shine where we are authentic. That's why it is, the sun is very authentic, right? You're out in the sun, it's exposing who you are, right? And so this is your house of authenticity. So there's probably something that you are releasing here with Jupiter and Mercury both ruling the nodes. Wow. And in this house of endings, right? And the sun at the time, your natal sun at the time of the perfect square, right? And we call it a perfect square because they will all be at 2 degrees. And we can see it here. We can see that Uranus, this is at 2 degrees, the south node, and the north node 2 degrees, and Uranus too. And so that is a six, and that is a recognition. There's a major recognition for us when the nodes change, when they, with the square and with the nodal change, right? The south node will move into your sign at the end of June. So yeah, June 26th or July. I think it's July 26th. But here we have was I going to go with this? The sun is actually at the time is in, you can barely see the sun here, is in Gemini. Oh, that makes a lot of sense because June is Gemini and Cancer's month both. But we have the sun here making this opposition to your fifth house of self-expression, creativity, and love and sex. So this is your house of how you show yourself, the authenticity, right? And so, and it's making that opposition. It wants you to adjust something because the sun is opposing Lilith. And Lilith is your shadow, but Lilith wants to be like creative and unhindered, and it wants to be free and break away from any chains. But the shadow requires you to see the shadow. You have to accept it, right? You have to sit with it and accept it and then, move away kind of. But this opposition here with this shadow kind of Lilith in your fifth house, the sun, you're kind of hell, you're putting the spotlight here. The sun is Leo, and saying, kind of make an adjustment here, move away from something, see what's hindering your self-expression. And I feel like the nodes are going to help you do that because we have Jupiter ruling that house and we have Jupiter ruling your north node. And Jupiter's in your 12th house. Let go of something that can be hindering your growth and expansion. It's all really interesting. And I think I'm going to end this here. And thank you so much for joining me here. If you've enjoyed my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell and you'll be notified of my next video. If you'd like a reading with me, I have great readings. They're all geared for empowerment and, really becoming your true self. That's what they are. And I'm really into that, right? Thanks so much. You can check out my website below. It's in the description box. And thank you so much, Leo, for joining me here today.